enough new material, but I found a poem from junior high school. So give it up right now for Luke to the mic and his poem from junior high school. That sucks. Start over. Give it up right now for Luke to the mic.
You're not worthy. Line the tables.
This one, going through a bunch of old stuff, pile of old papers and whatnot, and I found this old book of poetry, I think from Miss Holmes' class. Actually, I don't remember, it's from somewhere, and I wrote it a long time ago. It's called Nothing at All. I'm doing nothing, it's raining, it's gray outside, I am numb, tired, I can't sleep. I'm awake, counting sheep. Everything is boring, drowsy and gray. My mind is roaring, emotion has gone away. It has two sides, I'm caught in the middle, worn from relentless tides, an answerless riddle. But the fuel pump, it has run dry, curled in a lump, I'm about to cry. There's something in my eye, not because I'm sad, not because I'm mad. I'm too tired to answer. My curiosity grows like cancer. I need fuel to provide light, light to find a clue, illumination during night, fuel to propel me, spread my wings to take flight. Never mind, my problem I'll never find. My problem is nothing. I'll leave you alone to deal with nothing of your own. That's like 10 years ago, or longer. And I found another one that I did, I don't know, in the haze of the last few years. Un momento. Aha. I don't know, I've entitled this. It's pretty interesting though. Try to get back across the water, it moves too fast. Looking upstream, I see all the bridges burned. Strong waters took me downstream, took me to the ocean. My soul was free, infinite. I passed into the blackness, into the cosmos, stars and the Holy Ghost. Star of my life, burning in your eyes, the fire in your eyes, the fire to burn the tears from the lies. The fire in your eyes is the fire in my eyes. Walk across town, cross the bridge in the middle, strike a match, light it. Smoke, burn it down, the only one standing on this dirty ground. All I see are the flames, forgotten names, weddings and funerals, the players, and they played their games. Built a bridge, took so long, burned it down with just one song. You scream your words, burn the night to day, flames in the sky, they fly away.
Give it up one more time for Luke.
Movie theaters and museums, fishing in a pond. ABCs, 1, 2, 3, bring your friends along. Flying kites, way up into the blue sky. We can take a ride, just you and I, Miss Jones.
All right. Our next one to mic, his name is David Blackwell. He is an edgy visual stylist, a photographer, a writer, a visual madman, unleashing creative imagery. He is looking out to change it up and turn things upside down. I need you guys to give it up right now for David Blackwell, our next poet to the mic.
Yeah, turn it out, David.
And here I am again with up the microphone goes, and well, I'll begin with one piece that I've been thinking in my head. So I'll recite it from memory as I keep working on it. So I'll start it now. How can you write a poem about imaginary swear words without even saying one? Do you describe where they were used? do you describe how they had their effect, or what type of nerdy mind came up with them? Whether it was some science fiction TV show or some other type of thing, or is it the same type of minds that probably think of, what if the characters in a Dr. Seuss novel or book would come up with swear words? Would they get to the point, or would it be just become some type of brilliant nonsense? But the thing it is about imaginary swear words, or real swear words, is, do they raise the level of a story, or do they lower it? It all depends on how you use the words and how you view it. And there is no right answer. Just that you create a creative work that entertains. And yes, there's a next piece, which is, well, a tragic ballad about the Easter Bunny. Running and rushing, delivering chocolates and Easter eggs, waiting for this one time of the year, waiting and rushing, no complaints, no matter what, even if dogs and cats chase him, or squirrels laugh at him, or wolverines taunt him, or children try to catch him. But it all comes to the end for him. This is the day the Easter Bunny died. He didn't go out screaming. He went out with his head high, with no shame. This is the day the Easter Bunny died, only to fade away with the other holiday heroes. And this is the day the Easter Bunny died. He's only kept alive by the young, only to die yet again when they grow up, because this is the day the Easter Bunny dies yet again.
Alright, so our next poet to the mic, his name is Bill, and he hasn't been here in a while, and I'm really happy he's back. He said it's been a while, and he had a small window. He's glad to be back. He hasn't had much time to write, but every now and then the words find him. I need you guys to give it up right now for Bill Sorensen! Yeah,
Bill! Yeah, it's good to be back. I got 3 of them I'll read. 2 of them are old, one's new. The first one's called Precious Breath. I want to run. I want to break these chains and set it free. All the doubt, the failures, the weight on my shoulders crippling me. All those days propped up on lies and empty promises, being taken advantage of, the hurt, the compromises. Those lonely nights and who's to blame? More emotion than I can bear to take, the shame. I stand here now before you all, slow and steady. Not one more minute, it's no longer heavy. It's not my burden anymore, your faults are your own. Take your dirt, your hate, your dirt, and leave me alone. I refuse to suffocate and die a little more for the likes of you. The manipulation is over, yes, I'm afraid it's true. I'm setting it free. It's my spirit before it's forsaken. With that being said, it's the freshest breath I've ever taken. I did have someone to dedicate that to, but that's like dead and gone and old now, so. This one's called Going Home. I did a small stint in the city, and I'm pretty much a country boy, so that's where these words came from. I've been away for far too long. I'm going home. From the distant and unknown, the road I walk alone. No glory found in brick walls or the miles of city lights. Give me back the wide open, the moon and star-filled nights. A bitter taste of the fast pace, it's always touch and go. Such yearning in the horizon, those evening colors that move slow. The noise from busy streets, it takes and it takes. Let me have back the peace found in loons calling out from across the mountain lakes. Those buildings big and tall, hollow metal blocking out the view. I'm going back to the big sky, back to the big blue. I came here on someone else's dreams, but upon my own 2 feet, all I found was an empty heart, smog and concrete. This city of lost souls never had a chance to keep me in. My heart's going back to the mountains, back to chase the wind. Alone I came, alone I go. I touched a piece of this unknown. I've been away for far too long. It's time to make my way home. This one is my newest. It was kind of cool writing this because I put myself in this person's shoes and it actually got really emotional for me to write it. But here goes. It's called Rambling Man. He was just a dirt road rambler, just another face. He didn't have nobody. He didn't have any place. He waved at all the different people that happened to pass him by. Few would wave back. He knew they had their own reasons why. He carried with him 3 things. He always kept them close. They reminded him of simple joys and things that mattered most. One was a dried rose. She cried when he put it in her hair. She was his everything. That dried flower held the love they would share. The other was a drawing. Daddy's girl drew it just for him. He still hears her humming, a tune from a southern gospel hymn. The third thing was a picture. It was of all of them together. Seeing them all happy always made him feel a little better. He buried his wife and daughter under an old oak tree on the 5th of June. It's where their love all started, underneath the harvest moon. It wasn't long after he took to the western skies. He gave away most of what he had, but he kept the sadness in his eyes. A choice of his to leave it all, to find where his heart would end. He put his trust there somewhere. The road became his only friend. He'd often stop to talk to God. He'd ask him all the reasons why. Why didn't you take me instead, is usually what he'd cry. Most people didn't know him, but he'd lend a hand if he could. They didn't know his story. His tattered clothes kept him misunderstood. He drifted from town to town, finding a church on every Sunday. He'd hold himself to every word. He'd always kneel to pray. Some days were longer than others. It became about memories and light, and shooting stars he thought was them, so he looked forward to the night. He was never in any hurry for the beauty that would come and go. He'd hum an old southern gospel hymn against the wind that would blow. In autumn he'd find ripe apple trees. He thought of it as a gift. The winters he'd head down south, crossing fingers they'd be swift. Come spring he'd make his way, he'd circle back again, carrying with him 3 simple things of the places he had been. On certain nights when it showed bright, he'd tag along with the moon, making sure to visit the old oak tree always on the 5th of June. He'd talk about the different places, he'd laugh and he would cry. He would clean the ground around them, planting new flowers beneath the summer sky. Through veils of tears he'd wish them well, telling them he wouldn't be long. In morning light he'd gather himself, it was time to ramble on. Years they came and went, he'd been almost everywhere. From ocean to ocean, gray was now showing in his hair. The long road was good to him, the tears he never tried to hide. This is how it was for him, the love he kept inside. They found him one June morning beneath that old oak tree. He finally found his heart's end, the love had set him free. A drawing was in one hand, and the other an old dried rose. A picture was in a pocket, a rambling man, they suppose.
Give it up one more time for Bill Sorensen. Glad to have him back. So, Ed wants to throw up one more poem, so we're going to let him do that. And then I'll tell you something. So give it up right now for Ed to the mic.
Numbers, letters, learners,
Remember from last week,
playtime,
yeah, this is, this is really exciting, and I really hope it can keep going. And I don't know, it's just great to see something like this going on. So you got to be careful once you get an old guy started, you know, and you could be like, you know, stuck here, especially if you're in the front seat. But no, there's been a real cosmological theme to this one, I think. And there's been some very deep romantic stuff too. And, but when she was talking about the desert, and Leanne did her poem, I had to throw this one up. So my nose, my nose, unfelt cold, mittens frozen, cheeks numb, wrists numb, always a gap between coat and glove, throwing my child's body against the northern wind, against the gray clouded sky, making trail, pushing the 2-foot deep powder to both sides, sliding away from my 4-foot body, intuitively knowing the highest material, ontology in this universe, above the man-made planet orbits, my vocabulary growing, Sputnik, a man on the moon by 68, intuitively knowing the highest material, ontology. Maybe me, the silence never spoke more loudly inside the utility room. The wood stove and heat from the fire seemingly begins to melt my clothes. Now the darkness leads inexorably to a nightmarish sleep. Will God protect? May He not neglect.
Alright, I wrote this song, or poem a long time ago too. There was sometime in high school, I used to have memories of this from high school. Last 3 times I rode the bus home out in Ferndale, Big Fork. There's a road called Rainbow Drive, and I used to see girls walking by there, blonde girls. I recently found out that one of them passed away recently. This is about either or. They're both pretty blonde girls, and I would mistake one for the other. Anyways, I saw you on Rainbow Road, or Rainbow Drive. The Indian paintbrush in your hand was red. Your coat was orange. Your hair was golden blonde. Your eyes were green. The sky was blue. My heart was violet with a young man's wonder. I wanted to walk with you and revel in your colors. I was on my way to work on my pot of gold. I knew I had just passed by one. That's it.
Back to class, through the hall, teacher marks are high against the wall.
Give it up one more time for Luke. All right. So we've come to the close of the 2 hours, hour and a half-ish of time. So, just to remind you, next week is our Easter theme show. It will be in the back room. Best Jesus poem, best fertility poem, best rabbit stew poem, or best overall Easter theme poem. We're going to have prizes. We have a writing workshop every week. Sign up to at 3:30, open mic from 4 to 6. We have a Facebook page. We have an email list on the back table. Get yourself on it and write legibly. Legibly. Like you're in a handwriting contest with your 3rd grade teacher. Okay? And I think I've thanked everyone, but thank you again to the Boiler Room. Thank you again to Sean and Matt and Julie and Brenda from the Daily Interlake and all of you for showing up. I need you to give a one last round of applause for every poet who's touched the mic tonight. Give it up, Alright, I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Come back next Sunday. Bye.
Thank you, Leanne. You're awesome.